بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study of first chapter of 10th section. The 10th section was in over and fail, potentiality and actuality. The first chapter was about the fact that every temporal created being is preceded by quvvatul wujud. We already studied this, but we reached some points, concluding points at the end of chapter 1. This section is very important because we have discussion about haraka and zaman, motion and time in this chapter. Haraka included harakat al-jawhari and time. The next section is about aql wal-aqil wal-ma'qul, and the last one is ilahiyat bil-ma'na al-akhas. So we are actually reaching the most important parts of philosophy. It's the time for really picking up the fruits of what we have built so far. So inshallah, from now on, please be more serious with your study and mubahasa and taking notes, because this is the most important part. So, Allama Tabatabai Rahmatullah Alayh says, وَقَدْ تَبَيَّنَ بِمَا مَرَّ أَيْضًا. In addition to what we discussed, few things have become clear. أولا أن كل حادث زماني فله مادة تحمل قوة وجوده. Everything which is hadith, created, but it is zaman, it's temporal. So everything which has change, which has time, must have a madde, a matter, which is, potentiality, but it is madde that takes forms, takes actualities. So every hadith has a matter that carries quvvata wujudihi, the potentiality for its existence. But as you remember, and it was also a question in the exam, but it was yes. So I examined you before teaching you, but it didn't work. Yes. So this quvva, according to Allama Tabatabai, is existential. It is not just potentiality, because he said it has intensity, degrees. So فَلَهُ مَادَّةٌ تَحْمِلُ قُوَّةَ وُجُودِهِ. It has a matter that carries that quvva for its existence. And this quvva, I cannot say power. It's not power. I cannot say also potentiality, because it's a potentiality which has some existence. Yeah? Remember, we argued for it. 2. أن مادة الحوادث الزمانية واحدة مشتركة بينها. When you have something that takes different forms, the matter is the same. That matter, which is like a carrier for different forms, the matter is not changing, because matter is matter. Matter has no form. It's just the source for potentiality. It's like you have a person who puts on different dress. The person is the same person. The person is free from dress, yeah, has no dress. Madda also has no fi'liya. Text different fi'liya. Number 3. أن النسبة بين المادة وقوة الشيء التي تحملها. We said madda is the same. For those things which are temporal and happen, for every being they have one madda. The forms change. No, one is that every hadith zamani has a madda. But then we say this madda is not repeated. This madda is one for every being, and only forms change. Madda doesn't change. You remember we said if madda wants to change, then you need another madda and then become tasalsul. Yeah. So number 3, the relation between this madda and quwwah, which we said is a specific and it has degree and is existential, is the relation between jism tabi'i and jism ta'limi. What does it mean? Jism tabi'i means just to be a physical object. Jism ta'limi is to have a special shape. For example, you have a particular triangle or a square or circle. There is ta'ayyun. Yeah? Jism tabi'i doesn't have any ta'ayyun, doesn't have any specific figure. Jism ta'limi means the one that you use it for teaching purposes, yeah, educational purposes. It has a specific shape, like triangle. So, mad is potential, and it is very, general, very vague. But this mad can become vegetable. This vegetable then can become, for example, a sperm. This sperm can become embryo, can become a human being. This madde can take different forms. Madde for all of them is the same and is very vague because it has no actuality. But quwwah for everything is different, always specific. For example, quwwatul insan, to become a human being. A sperm has less chance of becoming a human being. Embryo has more. Then after the soul is created, is more. The child then has more to become a complete, well-grown up human being. So, إن النسبة بين المادة وقوة الشيء التي تحملها, the relation between matter and that potentiality for the thing that it carries is like the relation between jism tabi'i wal jism ta'limi. Tabi'i means natural, but it means general physical object. Ta'limi is for educational purposes, like triangle, a square, and so on. فَقُوَّةُ الشَّيْءِ الْخَاص تُعَيِّنُ قُوَّةَ الْمَادَّةِ الْمُبْحَمَةِ. The quwwah that we have for something specific, like quwwah for becoming insan, determines that potentiality which madda has, which is vague, which is mubham, ambiguous, vague. كما أن الجسم التعليمي تعين الامتدادات الثلاثة المبهمة في الجسم الطبيعي. Like when you draw a triangle 3 centimeter in 3 centimeter, for example, 3 centimeter, this triangle with this shape and size specifies jism tabi'i. Jism tabi'i is vague, any physical object, but this tells you what you are meaning by it. رابعا, number 4, أن وجود الحوادث الزمانية لا ينفك عن تغير في صورها. إن كانت جواهر أو في أحوالها إن كانت أعراضا. Existence of temporal created things is not free from change. If they are jawhar and change, then change would be in their surah form. If they are accidents, a'raz and change, then the change would be in their conditions. Yeah? Because surah is jawhar. One of 5 types of jawhar is surah. Jawahir change in their surah if they change. A'raz change in their condition. For example, you have an apple which is sour and becomes sweet. Taste is aras. And this is changing. This is not change in substance. This is change in aras. The taste is quality and it's changing. Or the color changes. The location changes. These are change in a'ras. So anything which occurs in time and happens in time is changeable. Number 5. أن القوة تقوم دائما بفعلية. Potentiality always is in need of actuality to give, existence to it, to give qivam. It's not self-subsistent. It's subsistent by the help of surah. Because madde without surah cannot exist. Madde is 100% potentiality. Something which is 100% potentiality cannot exist. It must have at least one surah. Maybe sometimes there are few floors of surah. Like, for example, this jawhar becomes jes, this jes becomes nami, this nami becomes hassasa mutaharrika bil irada, then it becomes natiq, then this natiq, for example, is created. إن القوة تقوم دائما بفعلية. قوة is always made by actuality. والمادة تقوم دائما بصورة تحفظها. Madde is always also subsistent because of the form that keeps that madde. Okay? Although madde is the carrier, but actually it is the form that keeps. Yeah? Because without form, that carrier is nothing. فإذا حدثت سورة بعد سورة قامت السورة الحديثة مقام القديمة وقومت المادة. When there is a surah, this surah keeps madda. When the surah changes, a new surah keeps madda. So, at each time, at least we need one surah so that madda can exist. This surah forms can change. Okay? But at each time, we need at least one surah to be there that keeps madda. Number 6. يتبين بما تقدم أن القوة تتقدم على الفعل الخاص تقدما زمانيا. Qawwa for existence precedes that actual form. Yeah? Because that form must be preceded by qawwa. So if you are talking about a specific formality, a specific actuality, a specific fair actuality, it must be preceded by madda. But أن مطلق الفعل يتقدم على القوة. but not a specific fi'l. Particular fi'l, a specific fi'l come later. But fi'l in general, fi'l as such, actuality as such, is preceding madda, because madda cannot exist without fi'l. If you remember different types of taqaddum, fi'l in general has taqaddum zamani, has taqaddum tab'i, and has taqaddum illi. Precedes in time, precedes as part of illat tamme, and precedes as illat tamme. Because fi'l is sharikul illat fa'aliyah. Surah is sharikul illat fa'aliyah. If fa'il wants to create a madde, must create madde with a fi'liyah. Yeah, because madde without fi'liyah cannot be created. This chapter is finished. If you have difficulty, please listen to the first part, so that because this is the conclusion of the first lesson. Chapter 2, about different types of change. في تقسيم التغير. تغير means change. As you may remember, we had it in the previous book on philosophy also. We said we have two types of change. Yeah? Sometimes change is daf'i, sometimes is tadriji. Daf'i means at once, tadriji means gradual. Daf'i means one surah goes away and another surah comes. Or one surah remains but a new surah comes all of a sudden. This is daf'i. And it is called kawn wa fasad. Yeah? Philosophers call instant change al-kawna wal-fasad. Kawn means generation, fasad means degeneration or corruption. Yeah, generation and degeneration. Existence and degeneration. But gradual change is called what? Haraka. Haraka is gradual change. قد عرفت أن من لوازم خروج الشيء من القوة إلى الفعل. You knew that one of the consequences of something going from potentiality to actuality, حصول التغير, is that a change happens. When you go from potentiality to actuality, a change happens. أما في ذاته, this change either happens in its essence, أو في أحوال ذاته, or in the conditions of the essence. Just today I told you that number 4, I said if it is in zat, means the change is in substance. If it is in a'raz, the change is in conditions. So one of the consequences of moving from potentiality to actuality is a change happens either in essence or in the conditions of the essence. فَعْلَمْ. So after this, please be informed أن حصول التغير, this change إما دفعي وإما تدريجي, is either at once, instant, وإما تدريجي, gradual. الثاني هو الحركة. The second one is حركة. The first one is كون فساد. The second, تدريجي, gradual, is حركة, motion. What is حركة? We will have next chapter about what is the definition of حركة. But briefly here in one line, هي meaning حركة نحو وجود تدريجي للشيء. It's a type of gradual existence for something. ينبغي أن يبحث عنها من هذه الجهة في الفلسفة الأولى. Because it is a type of existence a gradual type of existence, we should discuss it in philosophy. Because remember, we said falsafa is the science in which we talk about general conditions of existence. Yeah? الأحوال العامة للموجود بما هو موجود. We have two types of موجود. موجود which is in haraka, موجود which is not in haraka. So he wants to say why we discuss haraka in philosophy. Yes, haraka can be discussed also in physics, but that is another discussion. In philosophy, we discuss haraka from another perspective. We want to see what type of existence is in motion and what happens to that existence. Chapter 3 في تحديد الحركة. تحديد means definition, to define haraka. What do you mean by haraka? قد تبين في الفصل السابق أن الحركة خروج الشيء من القوة إلى الفعل تدريجا. In the previous chapter, it was made clear that haraka is moving from potentiality into actuality gradually. If something goes from being potential into becoming actual gradually, this is haraka. وَإِنْ شِئْتَ فَقُلْ. And if you like, you can say this. So you can define it in another way. تغير الشيء تدريجا. Something is changing gradually. Gradual change. Yeah, then we will talk. This change is in what? Is this change in aras or this change is in substance? If it is in aras, it was accepted by all philosophers that in few accidents we can have change. In kam, in kayf, in vaz, we can have change. But Mullah Sadra said that even in jawhar, in substance, we can have change. Ibn Sina was saying we cannot have change in substance because if substance changes, there would be no subject for haraka. We need mawzu or haraka. Inshallah, we will talk about all this. So, and shi'ta faqul. If you like, you can say haraka is taghayyur shay tadrijan. Change of something gradually. If you say, I know taghayyur, I know qawwa, I know fi'l, but what is tadrij, gradual? He says this is badihi. We know what is gradual, yeah? Because you cannot define. How you want to define tadriji? If you say ongoing, again, it means the same thing. At-tadriju معنى بديهي التصور بإعانة الحس عليه. Our perception, our senses help us to understand this easily. When we see something is taking time to happen, like a person is moving from one side of the room to the other side of the room, this takes time. It doesn't happen at once. Al-Muallim al-Awwal, okay, which is Aristotle, has defined haraka in this way. It's a little bit difficult, so please pay attention. He said, haraka is kamalun awwal lima bil quwwah min haythu innahu. The first perfection for something which is potential insofar as it is potential. The first perfection for something which is potential insofar as it is potential. what does it mean? It's not difficult if you pay attention to the concept. The terms are difficult. For example, a person, little by little, is becoming alim. To become alim is a gradual process. Or become mujtahid, for example. It's a gradual process. Yeah? Or a person is moving from one place to another place. Or the color of apple is changing from green to red. These are different changes, and these are all gradual. Before the change starts, these objects have certain perfections, certain actualities. We are not talking about them, because these are actualities that they have. We are talking about actualities that they want to have, perfections that they want to have. When a person is changing to become alim, or apple is changing from green to red, or person is moving from one place to another place, two things are happening. One immediately starts and takes time, and second at the end. What immediately starts, what is the first perfection, is haraka itself. Is this becoming? It's change. But then at the end you would have a second thing. Okay? So you have change in color, and then at the end you have red color. You have change in the knowledge of a person, at the end you have a mujtahid. So haraka is the first perfection that happens. The destination, the end, is the second perfection. But these are first and second perfection with respect to what is potential. Because that thing, even at the beginning, has certain actualities. We are not talking about those. So, kamalun awwal. Lima bil quwwa min haythu innahu bil quwwa. Not insofar as it has some actualities already. Haraka starts from this point on. But what it has right now, that's different. What it has right now is not related to haraka. So Aristotle defined haraka in this way. Kamalun awwal lima bil quwwa min haythu innahu bil quwwa. Is the first perfection for what is potential insofar as it is potential. Tawzihu. Its explanation is this. ما يمكن أن يحصل للشيء. What can happen to something, its perfection for it. Please remember, philosophers use kamal in two ways. Sometimes they say kamal and they mean a positive change. Going higher in ladder of existence. But sometimes when they say kamal, it means just actuality. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has become better. Okay? So philosophers use kamal in two ways. Haraka is not always positive. For example, a person is losing his knowledge. This is also haraka. Yeah? So when we say kamal here, we don't mean positive. We mean change, a formality, new form, new surah. Okay?
Going back to Ta'zir, which is statue, which says Qawmat Asar.
Yeah.
For example, someone who is alim,
Yeah.
he gets in Qawmat Asar, he loses all of his knowledge. For example.
Does he lose it at once or gradually?
At once. So
Yes.
it's not that easy.
Yes.
Can you say that?
But he acquired it gradually.
When he lost it, that's my time.
You reminded me of a joke. They say someone was sleeping and a thief came to his home and put the carpet and then everything inside the carpet and wrapped it and wanted to carry and said name of a holy person. This person woke up and said, all my life I collected these things with the name of another person and it took me years. Now with one name you want to take all of it. Okay? If I say the names would be easier, but I don't want to say. So, sometimes something takes years to achieve, but at once you may lose it. Actually, today I received a book which has sayings of Allāmah Tabatabai, and one sentence drew my attention. Allāmah Tabatabai says, one asabaniyat, you lose your temper, can take you back for 20 years. Sometimes you get angry and you do zol, you do damage, can take you back. So what you have built for 20 years, one mistake can damage. So it's possible that you learn something over years, but one illness or one accident, you lose it. Of course, if it was not in your hand, inshallah, the reward is there. Yeah, the reward is there. The spiritual benefit of knowledge is there, but your memory might be erased. Gradual. It was gradual process to achieve, but all of a sudden you lose it. It's possible.
So is this form of fasad?
The loss is kawn fasad. But sometimes also you gradually lose it. For example, you learn and then you stop learning and studying and discussing. So you learn, for example, in 20 years, then in few months you forget. This is also possible. So it's gradual but faster. Because speed is also one element in haraka. It's gradual, but with what speed? This is another element. Inshallah, we talk about it. Okay. So, توضيحه أن حصول ما يمكن أن يحصل للشيء كمال له. What is possible for something, if it happens, it's a perfection for it. Any actuality is a perfection, but not necessarily positive. والشيء الذي يقصد الحركة حالا من الأحوال, the object which is trying to change from one condition to another condition, for example, like a gest that يقصد مكانا, is aiming at being in one place, so that settles in the ليتمكن فيه. تمكن فيه means to settle there. فيسلك إليه, so moves towards that place. Okay, for example, you want to go to mosque. You move from your home to the mosque. This is a journey. التمكن في المكان الذي يسلك إليه كمالا لذلك الجسم. When you get into the mosque, that is a perfection for you. But this perfection is the second perfection. The first change that happens to you is the journey, which is harakah. So when you move from your home, the first thing that happens is walking, journeying. At the end, you are in the mosque. That is Kamal al-Thani. But the first Kamal is harakah. Because it's a new thing, it's a new actuality for you. غير أن السلوك, suluk means sayr, means journeying. This suluk, this journeying, kamalun awwal, is the first perfection. Why? لتقدمي, because it precedes. Before you go to the mosque, you have to move. At-tamakkun. Tamakkun means to take makan, to go and settle in that place like masjid. Kamalun thani. It's a second perfection. فَإِذَا شَرَعَ فِي السُّلُوكِ. So when he embarks on this journey, he starts this journey, فَقَدْ تَحَقَّقَ لَهُ كَمَالٌ. A perfection happens for it. لكن لا مطلقة. But this is not the only perfection. This is perfection in so far as it is potential. Because when you are at home also you have certain forms. Yeah, you are not free from all forms and all actualities. But those forms that you have actually are not discussed here. What we are aiming at is the form that is yet potential. Haraka is the first one. Being in that place is the second one. لكن لا مطلقا بل من حيث إنه بعد means yet. It is yet or still بالقوة. It's still potential. بالنسبة إلى كماله الثاني. With respect to the second perfection. Which is, what is the second perfection? التمكن في المكان الذي يريد. To be in that place that it wants to reach. فالحركة كمال أول لما هو بالقوة بالنسبة إلى الكمال. It's the first kamal with respect to these two. من حيث إنه بالقوة بالنسبة إلى الكمال الثاني. Compared to the second one. وقد تبين بذلك. Now, with this, another thing becomes important. And that is, every haraka needs 6 things. أن الحركة تتوقف في تحققها على أمور 6. To have haraka depends on 6 things. 1. المبدأ الذي منه الحركة. The easiest example is journeying in a space. You go from home to masjid. Home is your mabda, the origin, the starting point, departing point. المنتهى الذي إليه الحركة. Then the destination, the end of it, where haraka is heading. Okay? So these are 2. You need the origin, you need destination. والموضوع الذي له الحركة. Then the subject which is moving, which is متحرك, the one which is moving. Yeah? 4. الفاعل. Fa'il is different from متحرك. Fa'il is muharrik, the one that gives haraka. Sometimes something moves, but the mover is different. Yeah? Is it clear? For example, you move with car. Car is moving you, for example. Is it clear?
But does this also refer, like, if you're walking, does it refer to God?
Yeah, but if you are walking, your muscles are moving you. And then your irada is moving your muscles. So, and then finally God, of course. Number 5, al-masafa allati fiha al-haraka. Distance in which there is haraka. Of course, in English it's difficult to say distance except for change in a space. For example, if the color is changing, then color is distance. Like apple from green becomes red. Then masafa is color. If it's sour, becomes sweet. Masafa is what? Is the taste. Okay, so masafa is not always a road. Okay, but the easiest example for haraka for us is haraka from one place to another place. This is the easiest one. For example, when a person is working on his own self, what is masafa? Is the self. What is mutaharrik? Is the self. What is muharrik? Again, is the self. Yeah? So these are different. Number 6, az-zaman, time. The sixth aspect of haraka is zaman. الذي ينطبق عليه الحركة نوعا من الانطباق. Haraka somehow is corresponding to time. Because zaman is quantity of haraka. مقدار الحركة is zaman. How long it takes? You cannot separate time from haraka. Inshallah, when we study haraka and zaman more in future, we would explain that zaman is not separated from haraka. This is different from zaman, the conventional time that we consider the motion of moon and earth and sun, and we created a common time. That is not the real time for everything. Everything that is moving has its own time, which is the quantity of its motion. You understand? Everything has its own time. But for the sake of convenience, we compare all the things which are changing with one common time, which is day and night and month and year. But actually, that is not our time. That is the time of sun and moon. Okay? والزمان الذي ينطبق عليه الحركة نوعا من الانطباق. The time that haraka somehow corresponds to that. وسيجيء توضيح ذلك. Inshallah, explanation of this would come on Wednesday. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.